Hi, this is Yoan, and in this episode, I would love to share the Mala Tote Bag project. This is a light and simple, straightforward tote bag that you can dress up or down. It is not too big, not too small either, yet it is functional enough to carry some essentials. The finished measurements of this bag are approximately 16 inches at the top widest point by 11 inches by 4 inches deep. It comes with a front zipper pocket with zipper closure, and in the interior of the bag there are 2 slip pockets and a zipper pocket as well. For this project, I combined this lovely floral cotton quilting fabric with this black vinyl fabric. It is such a wonderful combination. I really like how it turns out. Feel free to play around with different fabric. You can try using cork fabric instead, or canvas, denim, etc. Download the PDF cutting instructions at YoanSewingStudio.com. I will have the link somewhere in the description box down below as well. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and without further ado, let's get started. First, we're gonna work on the front exterior zipper pocket. So let's prepare panel 1 and panel 2. Fuse the wrong side with some fusible fleece. Position the fusible fleece about 1/4 inch away from the bottom edges of panel 1 and 1/4 inch away from the top edges of panel 2, where the zipper is going to be installed to avoid too much bulk on that area. This one is my panel 3, or what will be the inner pocket panel. Now let's prepare the zipper. For the front zipper pocket, we're gonna use an 8-inch long zipper. So the length of the zipper teeth should be 8 inch, and I'm using a metal zipper here. I like to first hand stitch the extension tape at the start of the zipper so that it will stay close. First, we're gonna attach the zipper tabs. So cut 2 little rectangles. So you want to fold this in half and position that right on the zipper extension tape, just like that, and then clip. And you want to do the same to the opposite side as well. Once you've done that, stitch about 1/8 inch away from the folded edges. Now let's trim off the excess zipper tabs so that it will be the same width as the zipper tape. And then again, we're going to trim off the zipper tabs right on the edges so that the entire length of the zipper will be 10 inches. To make sure that everything will be centered, I first mark the center point of the zipper teeth and then measure 5 inches from the center point and then trim off the excess fabric. Repeat the same to the opposite side. And there you go. Now the entire length of the zipper is 10 inches. Now lay panel 2 right side up. And as usual, I'm going to use my basting tape to baste the zipper. So apply that on the top edges of the panel 2. Take the zipper and lay that right side down with the start of the zipper at your left hand side. Press the edges with your finger so that the basting tape will be sticking onto the zipper. Now apply another layer of basting tape and then take panel 3 or the inner pocket panel and lay that right side down. Once you've done that, stitch this in place with 1/4 inch seam allowance. Now let's turn this to the right side, finger press the seams and then top stitch. Apply basting tape on the edges of the zipper tape and then take panel 1 and lay that right side down. Now let's flip this to the wrong side and then apply another basting tape along the edges. Bring the bottom edges of panel 3 towards the top. Make a fold there. And once everything is secured, stitch this in place with 1/4 inch seam allowance. Once you've done that, press the seams and top stitch. Now let's trim off the bottom edges so that this pocket panel will measure 13 inches tall. Now you want to stitch the side edges where the inner pocket panel is sitting to hold this in place, about 1/4 inch. And there you go guys, our front pocket panel is done. Next you want to lay out panel 4, the vinyl panels, and then sew each panel to the side of the front zipper pocket panel with 1/2 inch seam allowance. I'm comfortable using my walking foot to sew the vinyl fabric. You can also use Teflon foot. And for the thread, I use regular polyester thread. Once you've done that, you want to finger press the fabric, make it nice and flat there, and then top stitch. Now repeat the same to the opposite side. And voila, the front exterior panel is done. And if everything lays flat, this panel should measure 17 inches by 13 inches. For the back exterior panel, you want to cut a piece of rectangle from the vinyl fabric, identical in size with the front exterior panel. Cut 2 inches square notches at the bottom corners of your front and back exterior panels. And of course, you want to do the same later for the interior panels as well. Now let's assemble the exterior panels. So this is very straightforward. Lay out the front and back exterior panels right sides together, clip them in place, and then stitch the sides and the bottom with 1/2 inch seam allowance. Once you've done that, you want to open the corner, match the side seams with the bottom seams, just like that. Place a clip there, and then stitch with 1/2 inch seam allowance. And here I've already boxed both corners. Now let's turn the back right side out. Set this aside, and then we're gonna work on the D-ring tabs. For the D-ring tabs, you want to cut 4 little rectangles, and as usual, we're going to fold and press this in a fourth widthwise to make a 1 inch strip. And once you've done that, stitch along the long sides with about 1/8 inch seam allowance. So you should end up with 4 strips, 3 inch by 1 inch. And for the D-rings, you will need 4 pieces with 1 inch inner measurements. Now you want to measure 4 1/4 inch from the side seams. And then put a little mark there, attach the D-ring to one of the strip, and then position that right by the 4 1/4 inch point mark, just like that. And of course you want to do the same for the opposite side because we want this to be symmetrical. Once you've done that, stitch this in place with 1/4 inch seam allowance. Once you've done that, repeat the same to the back side. For the strap, we're gonna do the two-sided strap method. So for the outer strap, we're gonna use the vinyl fabric, and for the inner strap, we're gonna use the fabric too. This is the exact same strap method that I shared in the diaper bag project. So if you haven't watched that and you need the tutorial on how to make this two-sided strap, I'm going to refer you to that video. So check the link somewhere in the description box down below or in the pattern. To attach the strap, you want to hold the strap with the wrong side facing up and then feed the strap through the D-ring from the outer side to the inner side, just like that. Have about 1 1/2 inch of clearance there. Clip to secure this in place, and then install a set of rivet about 1/4 inch away from the edges. And of course, you want to repeat the same to the opposite side, and you should end up with something like this. Now let's attach the strap for the back exterior exactly the same way. Next, we're going to work on the interior of the bag. So these are panel 6 or the upper panel. So you want to cut 2 pieces each for the front and the back interior. Fuse the wrong side with some fusible woven inner facing, center the position, and these two are panel 7. Lay panel 6 and panel 7 right sides together and then sew them in place with 1/2 inch seam allowance. Once you've done that, you want to press the seams open and then top stitch. Repeat the same to the second panels. Now let's work on the slip pockets. Cut a piece of rectangle measuring 12 1/2 inch by 13 1/2 inch. Fold the pocket panel in half widthwise, just like that. Pin this in place and then stitch the sides and the bottom with 1/4 inch seam allowance, leaving about 3 inches of opening at the bottom. Once you've done that, you want to clip all the corners carefully and then turn the pocket panel right side out. Poke all the corners. Fold the raw edges of the opening hole towards the inside about 1/4 inch, and then go to your ironing board and then press this and then top stitch along the top edges. Position the pocket panel on the right side of the front interior panel about 4 inches from the top edges, and of course center the position. Pin this in place, and then you want to stitch the sides and the bottom, and then divide the pocket into 2 by stitching right on the center of the pocket. Now if you wish to add a zipper pocket, this is the time to do it. Draw the zipper template on the wrong side of your pocket panel, about 1 1/2 inch down from the top edges. Of course, center the position. So the template should measure 7 inch by 3/8 inch. And as usual, you want to draw the line on the center and the little corner triangles. Position the pocket panel on the back interior panel, right on the center about 2 1/2 inch down from the top edges. Pin this in place, and then you want to stitch along the outer line and then proceed with the rest of the steps of installing the zipper. I'm pretty sure a lot of you already know how to install this kind of zipper, but if you need the tutorial on how to do that, I will refer you to a different video, so check that out somewhere in the video description, and I will also link that in the pattern. Next, we're going to work on the zipper panel for the closure of the bag. For this project, you will need 16 inches long zipper. I'm using metal zipper here. Feel free to use nylon coil zipper if that's what you prefer. Now at the start of the zipper here, you wanna fold the tape extension towards the wrong side and then sew just to hold this in place. And you should end up with something like this. Now prepare the zipper panel, so you wanna cut 2 identical rectangles and we're gonna fold and press this. So you wanna start by folding the short side towards the wrong side, about 1/2 inch. You may need to use your seam gauge because we want this to be pretty accurate. And then repeat the same to the opposite side. And then fold the long sides also 1/2 inch towards the wrong side, of course. And repeat the same to the opposite side. And then you want to fold this panel in half lengthwise, just like so. And then press this real good. So we're going to install these panels on each side of the zipper tape. Grab your basting tape and then apply that to the edges of the zipper tape from the start of the zipper up to the 15-inch point, which is the same length as the zipper panel. Both the right side of the zipper tape and the wrong side as well. Now let's peel off the top layer of the basting tape, both sides, and then take one of the zipper panel and then insert the zipper tape into the fold of the zipper panel. Align the edges of the start of the zipper with the edges of the zipper panel. Take your time to neaten everything and make everything nice and even. So there should be about 1/8 inch distance between the zipper teeth and the edges of the zipper panel. Once you're happy with how it looks, you can finger press so that the basting tape will be sticking to the fabric, and then stitch the sides and the bottom of the zipper panel with about 1/8 inch seam allowance. Alright, so you should end up with something like this. Now let's work the same way for the opposite side. Start sewing from one of the side, of course back stitch to reinforce, and then pivot and then stitch the bottom. I like using my walking foot to do this job, but if you prefer to use your zipper foot, of course you can use that. And there you go guys, the zipper panel is done. Now take the back interior panel, the one with the zipper pocket, mark the upper center point, simply draw a straight vertical line about a couple of inches. Now fold the zipper in half, aligning the edges of the zipper panel, not the zipper, and then mark the center point on both sides of the zipper panel. Measure 1.5 inch down from the top edges of the back interior, and then draw a straight horizontal line with your fabric marker, of course. And then position the zipper panel right on that horizontal line, matching the center point of the zipper panel with the center point of the interior panel. The start of the zipper should be at your left hand side. Now you want to pin them in place and then stitch right along the edges of the zipper panel with about 1/8 inch seam allowance. I'm still using my walking foot here, and it is very important to reinforce your stitching by back stitching a few times at the beginning and towards the end of the stitching. Now take the front interior panel and we're gonna do pretty much the same way like before. So you wanna first draw the horizontal line and then position the zipper panel on that horizontal line with the right side facing up, matching the center point of the zipper panel with the center point of the front interior, and then pin them in place and then stitch along the edges of the zipper panel about 1/8 inch seam allowance. And when you're done, you should end up with something like this. So the right side of the zipper should be facing up. Now we're gonna assemble the back interior pretty much the same way as the back exterior. I like to unzip my zipper all the way, seems to be easier that way. And when you're pinning the side seams, make sure to tuck the zipper tail towards the inside. And once everything is secured, you want to sew this with 1/2 inch seam allowance, leaving about 4 to 5 inches of opening at the bottom to turn the back inside out later. Alright, so our back interior is done and ready to go. Now let's turn this right side out, and the back exterior panel should be wrong side out. Now insert the back interior into the back exterior. So the right sides should be touching each other at this point. And of course you want to be mindful with the side of the back. So make sure that the front side of the interior is touching the front side of the exterior. And the same goes with the back side. Now let's secure this in place with some clips starting from the side seams. And once everything is secured, stitch all around with 1/2 inch seam allowance. Now turn the back inside out through the opening hole. Neaten all the edges. I simply finger press this. And then top stitch the top edges with about 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Now let's take care of the opening hole. So you want to fold the raw edges towards the wrong side, about 1/2 an inch, and then sew to close the opening. Alright, now let's put the lining back inside. Tuck the end of the zipper inside the bag, and that's pretty much it, guys. Our Mala tote bag is done. And that's about it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.